Okay, good morning, everybody. Oh, Kate, do you have your phone there? Can you see if we're live?
I have another computer here,
Okay,
and I'm sure we are.
it says live, so good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Kate and Colleen show this morning and live with Kate and Colleen. And I am Colleen Lloyd Roberts with the new Monkeys and Hats. I know we're still in our transition of Brand Garden, so I know some of you still know us as Brand Garden, but we are transitioning to Monkeys and Hats digital marketing and e-commerce. And my super awesome partner is
Hi, I'm Kate Holmes from Too Good to Be Through. I'm the author of many products for the professional reseller, and I'm the web host at tgtbt.com. And I'm thrilled to be here. Colleen's got some great information for you today, and it's going to be great information for me as well because I'm still a little bit fuzzy about all of this stuff. But Colleen wanted to talk about a specific topic, a micro topic, she calls it. So we're going to let her take the lead here today.
awesome. So we are building just more and more and more e-commerce websites for a lot of people in the resale industry. And what I want to talk about today, because we have this conversation over and over again, and I get asked about this a lot, is there's a couple main things I want to address about why e-commerce websites fail, like why they don't work. And one of the biggest reasons is there's just not enough merchandise on the website that's shoppable. There's just not. And what happens is when you only have 500 items, for example, or less up on your website, people come to your website and there's not a lot for them to see. Like you can whip through 500 items really quickly. And then that is really bad for SEO, which is search engine optimization, because Google tracks how long people hang out on your website. So the less time people are spending shopping the website, the worse ranking you're going to get in Google's SEO ranking, because they're going to think, oh, people aren't really hanging out on their website. It's not relevant. They don't like what they see. They're going to take your website and really push it down. But most importantly, is that you can't put a few items up on a website and think that, yay, we did it, we have this great website, because people want selection, people want to shop. It's shopping on a website is no different than shopping in your store. And what you need to do is put yourself in the frame of mind if you were shopping for yourself and go shopping on your own website. You know, what shoe size are you? Can you find a good selection of shoe sizes? Shop for your husband if you sell men's clothes. Could your husband find a good selection? Shop if you were different sizes. If you were a double X size, could you find a good selection of items on your website? And you can ask friends or customers. This is a great engagement point with your customers. You can give them some extra loyalty points or a free coffee. But the whole idea is when you ask customers, though, be very specific about what you're asking, because otherwise they will get all these fancy ideas about your website and want to redevelop your whole website, and that is not the point. But you want them to give you feedback specifically. Can you find your right sizes and your right styles on your website? Because the other thing that happens is we see a lot of the person who chooses what goes on the website tends to pick out their favorite styles, and that is not necessarily a good representation of everything that's in their store. So Kate, do you have some feedback on that or questions on that?
Well, a couple things came to mind. One is, of course, the search capabilities of the things that you do have on your site is kind of difficult sometimes. But my main question is, you're talking about why e-commerce sites fail. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it might be interesting to give people who are listening to us an idea about what failure is, what success is?
So failure basically is when you're not making your numbers. When you take a step back and you say that my website is costing me more money than I'm putting into it, then that's not right. It's a numbers game. So your website should be making you money. It should be running at a profit. And if it's not running at a profit, just like your store, if your store is not running at a profit, you kind of have to take a step back and say, okay, what is the selection not right here? What's not right about what's happening in my store? And oftentimes as well, if you are marketing your website only on like Facebook, for example, you're ignoring like a younger audience on Instagram. So it's important that you are marketing your website on multiple platforms so that you're reaching a wider range of target audience for your store. So your website is really another store. Now, that said, a website can also be a marketing tool. So when you have products up on your website, you can drag and drop those products into Constant Contact or MailChimp or whatever good email program you use, and then send those out as like new arrivals, or send those out, once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week to your customers. And people will go to the website, see what you have, they'll look at those items, and then they will actually come into your store. So there's 2 different ways you can utilize a website. One is to actually have it make a profit, and the other is to use it as a marketing tool. But regardless of which strategy you're using, you have to have a lot of product on your website, a lot of product on your website. You cannot just do it as a hobby and throw up like 500 items and boom, it's done. You have to get up to minimally 1,000 to 1,500 items on your website and then continue to build from there.
That takes a lot of commitment on the part of a shopkeeper. And you're mentioning, of course, that you want the website to at least, or the e-commerce part of your website to at least break even. I would love to see you devise, as a marketing agency that helps people do this, a formula for them. For instance, the marketing to me is worth quite a bit of money. Even if you never sell anything off your site, the fact that people can go there and scroll through and see the type of items that you sell in your store, that to me is a plus, an asset. So it's really, really hard to say, okay, how does my website break even? Because I'm posting things, I'm answering questions, I'm putting things aside, I'm taking them off the floor for somebody to come in, I'm accepting returns. There's so many variables that are actually employee, staff, or owner time sucks that you really need to stop and think about, okay, I'm spending 10 hours a week overseeing my people who are doing my e-commerce site. That's 10 hours a week that I'm not doing other things. So how do you get a balance there between, yes, this is profitable, yes, this is certainly adding to my image, yes, it is adding to my social media and to my search engine optimization, but 1,500 items, Colleen, you're crazy. I'm sure a lot of people are thinking, I know you're not crazy, but I'm voicing the unspoken objections in our audience.
So those are all great things, and if those are your objections, then an e-commerce website is not for you. And I would tell you that if we had a telephone call, because an e-commerce website is really taking your business to the next level. It's the new age that we're living in. It's the new expansion model, and so, there are people opening up new stores. We have a client opening up a whole new brick and mortar store right now, but it is also giving you the opportunity to expand your reach. And so you can sell and drive traffic to your store from your website, but also you can sell, we're shipping furniture all over the country now. We've figured out how to do it. We're shipping furniture all over the country, and without a website, that's not possible. So really, if you're asking yourself those kinds of questions, my advice to you would be you're probably not ready, because you have to be mentally ready. It is a commitment. You create systems. So you actually make it part of your intake now. So your intake now becomes this comes in, we snap the photo, it goes up on the website. The stores, hands down, the clients that are making the most money that we're seeing, that we're working with personally, are the ones that have the most items on the website. We have a couple stores that every item that comes in goes up on the website. So you don't look at it as like a per profit per item. You look at it as like the big whole. And yes, you do end up having to hire someone to take photographs sometimes. You do end up having to hire one extra person to help with the website. If you can't wrap your head around it, it's totally okay, but then a website's probably not going to be for you, or an e-commerce website's not going to be for you. What's going to be for you is to just have a beautiful website where people can find you and you can blog on it, and all of your wonderful store information is on there, and using it more as a passive tool than a proactive tool kind of thing.
So perhaps if I'm understanding you correctly, the way to think about having e-commerce is to think of it as a branch store. It is a virtual reality branch store. And if you're not ready to branch out and have a second location, whether in real life or in the information highway, maybe it's not for you. So perhaps that might help people decide how much effort they want to put into it. If you were opening a in real life store down the street or across town, what type of store would you open? If it's going to be a store that only has, as you said, 500 items, it's probably not going to be worth it, right? If it's a store that's only a clearance store, it may or may not be worth it. So maybe wrapping your head around the fact that e-commerce is a branch store. That's all there is to it. It just doesn't happen to need vacuuming every day. It needs all sorts of upkeep, but it doesn't need the vacuum cleaner.
It does, and I think that that's probably a great summation, Kate, because a lot of people hear like, oh, I need a website, but they don't really understand like what goes into having that website or what that's going to look like. So it's easy for some, it's easy to fork over, your money and build this beautiful website, but like, you have to maintain it, and you have to like love it, and you have to, especially if it's an e-commerce, it's a store. You have just opened up your next location, and it's online instead of being brick and mortar. So yes, 1000% yes, Kate, you're absolutely right. It's a whole nother store, and it is a commitment. And if you're going to do it as a hobby, then it's probably not going to be, you'll get the hobby results if you do anything as a hobby.
Now, that does not necessarily mean that an e-commerce selling site is for every store. You need to stop and think about what it is you want to accomplish. If you simply want to get across the type of things that you have in your real life store, there are other easier, quicker, and to me, more appealing ways to do that. If you are looking to actually take a top and sell it to somebody 3 states over, the e-commerce is probably something that you do want to look into. So I think with that, Colleen, were you going to talk a little bit about the direction that your show here on your consignment marketing page is going to take?
I can. I was going to just put it in a Facebook post, but I can. Okay. But I do want to just say one thing on what you just said, Kate. When you build a non-e-commerce website, for example, you can do things like take your Instagram page and populate your Instagram on your homepage. So when people see your homepage, they can get a snapshot of, oh, look what's come in store. So that is a wonderful example of how to showcase some of your items on your website without having an e-commerce website. So they don't buy off of your site, but at least you can, and it's all updated. So the minute you post something on Instagram, it goes right onto your homepage, so it's fresh and people can see that. So we're going to focus more going forward. We're going to focus on what are called micro topics. And a micro topic is where we're going to take one topic and dig a little deeper into that topic instead of giving you more blanket information. So instead of like 7 reasons to do something, we might talk about 2 reasons to do something, but we're going to talk about it on a little bit more deeper level, because that's the kind of feedback that I have been getting, and everyone is at different levels. I get that. Some people are at the very elementary level and the basics level, and then some people are very, very advanced. And so some of our shows might be too elementary for you, some of our shows might be too advanced for you, but hopefully you will be able to pick up a nugget in every show that we have. We're going to change the name of the show only because I've had so many people ask about it. It's now going to be called Coffee with Colleen and Kate, only because so many people are like, it's your channel. Why is Kate's name first? And I'll tell you why I put Kate's name first, because I look up to and respect Kate. She's an icon in the industry, and that's just who I am. Like, I sign my cards last. It's always my husband and me, and that's just, I put other people first. That's just me. So we're going to change the name. Kate's totally cool with it, but we're going to start focusing on coffee. So bring your coffee to our shows. Oh, this would have been a good, actually, I didn't even warn Kate about this because you have that great coffee cup, which I love. But anyway.
I'm not sure. Oh, wait a minute. Here it is.
Yes.
There you go.
That's it. I love that.
Everyone is entitled to my opinion, and everybody's entitled to Colleen's opinion, and Colleen's opinion first, because it is, after all, page. Consignment marketing.
Yes, and Kate has her page. Make sure that you tune in to Kate's page on Wednesday evenings. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I have a show without Colleen because she's so busy she can't jump over. But on Wednesday evenings at 8 p.m. on the Too Good to Be Through page, I do 10 minutes with Kate where we talk about probably more real life items rather than electronic items. I tend to leave the airwaves and the Wi-Fi to Colleen because she knows a lot more about that, and that's how she makes her living. I make my living by making sure that when people walk into your store, it's a wonderful experience. So my show is more focused, not specifically, but more focused on everyday, real life, non-electronic things.
All right, awesome. So definitely leave us your questions, leave us your comments, and leave us topics that you would like to see us dig deeper into so that we can do that. We're going to try to pre-plan our topics as well and have a little bit of a calendar so that you can see what we have coming up and then ask us what burning questions you have around that particular topic. But I am just wishing everyone a wonderful, fabulous week. I hope the sun is shining and the snow is melting wherever you are. Kate, any final parting words?
Nope, but as I always tell everybody, get out there and sell something, whether it's online or in store. Have a great day, folks. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye, everyone.